Tesla have recently delivered on the revamp of their Model 3 vehicle. There's a new design, but also there are many cool new features, and we're going to talk about that. But also in this video, I want to spend some time talking about why this new revamp is really important, especially for Tesla investors, that you need to know about if you're going to try and make your own projections and predictions about Tesla stock and Tesla as a company in the future. If any of you want to help support this channel, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you really want to, check me out over on X. And if you really want to, I also have a Patreon that you're welcome to join. I'll leave a link in the description below. So here she is. She is beauty, she is grace. The Model 3 revamp. This is coming currently in two colors. You've got the red here and then the gray. Let me know in the comments below which one you would pick. I would quite like them to release this vehicle in the deep blue. I love the deep blue Teslas. But let me know if you had to choose between the gray and the red. What are you picking? I'm not going to spend too long on all of the different appearance changes and feature changes because there are many other videos that have already done that, and they probably do it a lot better than I can. So I'm just going to quickly name a few that I think are really interesting and cool and do add to this vehicle compared to the previous model. And then we will move on to why this is important for Tesla investors. So you'll notice that both the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle have both had somewhat of a facelift. It does look slightly more premium and it looks a little bit more sporty than the previous version. There is also a huge interior update. So the materials, the fabrics that they've used are meant to be a lot more premium in this revamped vehicle to give it a more quality, luxury sort of feel. They've also added a customizable cabin lighting situation. So you'll now get to choose which color you want your cabin lighting to be. You can have red, you can have blue, you can have whatever you fancy really. They've redesigned their headlights and their tail lights. And interestingly, they have also taken away the stalk on the steering wheel for indication. So this has now been replaced with button options, and this is very controversial. People either really like this and think it looks really sleek and minimal, or people really dislike this. I don't really mind. I think that it does look sleek and minimal, and I really like that. But also I'm trying to imagine going around all the roundabouts that are here in the UK, because there are a lot. And as you're turning, trying to indicate off the roundabout might be a little bit difficult if your wheel's sort of at a weird angle and you're trying to press the button. One feature that I think will really upgrade this and will make this into more of a family option car, more families might purchase this, is that they've now got a rear display like the Model S and the Model X have. This means that passengers, I assume it would mainly be children, sitting in the back, not always children actually, can now watch stuff, can control the heating, can play music and things like that. So it does enable families to see this car more family friendly because they can entertain their kids in the back of the car. And I imagine, I don't have kids, but I imagine that's really helpful, especially when you're on long road trips. They've added a few more speakers around the vehicle to really enhance the audio, and they've improved suspension, again, to make it feel more like a high quality vehicle. They've reduced the noise that this vehicle is going to experience. So we're talking noise coming from the wind, which is definitely important in the UK and in Europe because we don't have the nicest weather all the time. The ambient noise, so within the vehicle, and the impact and road noise as well. So again, this is going to feel way more luxurious to drive if you don't have all of those interruptions and all of those tinny, annoying noises coming from outside and inside the vehicle. And they've done this by adding sound installation and also from acoustic 360-degree glass. So before they had the acoustic glass on some areas of the vehicle, I believe, but now they've made even more. So it's going to be very protected from noise. So deliveries for this revamped vehicle are going to begin in October in Europe and the Middle East. So we have just moved into September. October is the next month. So this is happening really soon. These are going to be beginning deliveries in October. That's big. That's really big. Unfortunately, the UK, we are going to have to wait slightly longer than the rest of Europe. We are going to probably be expecting vehicles next year. And the price is going to start around the £42,000 mark, which we will speak about price in just a minute. So that's all great. But one important upgrade that they've made on this vehicle is that they've increased the range. So they have advertised this vehicle as being built for distance, and they have said you can go up to 629 kilometers on a single charge with updated exterior styling optimized for max aerodynamics. this will be the most aerodynamic Tesla. For those of you outside of the UK and Europe who don't really work in kilometers, this single charge could pretty much travel half of the entire length of the UK. From the most northern point of the UK all the way to the most southern point of the UK, if you were to travel that distance by car, it would be around 850 miles, which equates to about 1,367 kilometers. This is very big and it really helps to remove range anxiety. The UK and European countries aren't very big. They are especially not as vast as the likes of the US. So by having this increased range, plus having the Tesla supercharging network get better and better and getting more distributed around the European countries and the UK, there's not really going to be a reason to actually worry about your Tesla not having enough range to go on long road trips. Because we just saw that in one single charge with this new revamped vehicle, you can pretty much get halfway across the length of the entire UK. So just to compare this new revamped vehicle's range to the previous model, I made a little table. So I'm going to throw it up on the screen now. And I've converted this all to miles just in case it's easier for you to work in. And you can see that this table only has the rear wheel drive and the long range. There's no performance range here because that is not going to be available as of yet in the new revamped vehicle. But you can see that the percentage increase in both of these are over 13%. So that's pretty impressive. But now I want to tell you the 3 biggest takeaways from this that you need to know as a Tesla investor. So the first one is that they have changed around 50% of the vehicle's parts. So I'm assuming they've done this for a reason and they've not actually changed 50% of the parts to make it, more difficult to manufacture, more expensive, more time consuming. Actually, they've probably done this for the complete opposite. These changes are to make the vehicle faster to manufacture and cheaper to manufacture. We know that Tesla are always innovating and always trying to make their processes and their manufacturing way more efficient. And it's one of the big reasons that they are far ahead of competition. And it's happening again. And by doing this, it helps them with their margins and their profits, which as Tesla investors, we do care about. Following on from this, not only are they changing 50% of the parts, they are also removing a lot of parts as well. We saw that the steering wheel is now not having that indication stalk. They are removing that. That means less parts to manufacture, which of course means it's cheaper, faster, and easier. This of course means that they are saving in their costs, which then means higher revenue, which is great for us as investors. Number 2 is just how competitive this vehicle is going to be. This car is way more efficient and it will be slightly more expensive than the previous Model 3 vehicle, but not by that much. Considering how much more you are going to get, it's going to be around the same sort of price, a little bit more maybe, but the point is you are getting way more for your money. You're getting the better range, you're getting better suspension, you are getting that rear display that we discussed. So many more cool features that just make this car way more premium than the previous version. So this is going to put a lot of pressure on competitors. All the other companies making EVs are really going to struggle to compete with this one in terms of price and what it actually offers. And it's going to be pretty decent in price for Tesla to actually make this. So the margin should be good. They've obviously made it more efficient to make compared to the last vehicle. So hopefully all of these things will drive up sales. So I wanted to just do some research into what other EVs people in the UK are actually opting for. So the website that I came across showed that the 2 most popular vehicles in the UK in terms of full EVs are both Tesla vehicles. But in 3rd place was the Kia EV6, which on their website, depending on what option you actually opt for, are these prices that you see on the screen now. But this gets more and more expensive depending on what you add on. As soon as you start adding anything onto this, it jumps up in price. And it's an extra £675 to have any colour but the red option. And not everyone wants a red car, so it does get more and more expensive, but it's interesting to see what other vehicles popular that perhaps won't be as popular when this Model 3 revamp comes out. And interior wise, this EV6 is very different to the minimal Tesla design, but I guess it just depends what sort of thing you like. So having this vehicle start at around the £42,000 mark, which I believe is going to be the price. I think Carwow actually said that, and he has, like, you know, early release, so I'm guessing that information's come directly from Tesla. It is probably going to be quite hard to compete with this. So introducing this revamped model that is a lot better than the previous version should help increase Tesla demand, and not just current Tesla customers that will want one of these, but also new customers that previously didn't want to, you know, take the plunge into the EV world, and this car is just what they're looking for. Whatever the reason, it should drive up demand, and it should bring more people into the Tesla ecosystem, because Tesla are really building themselves out an ecosystem. They've got, you know, a range of different EVs now that you can pick from, and that's not where it stops. They then got FSD, they then got their energy sector where you can store the energy, the power walls, you know, on and on and on. They are building themselves an ecosystem, just like we've seen Apple do so successfully. And the third reason is very interesting, and that is that they could be doing this to sort of set themselves up in the future to make room in their product line for the hatchback vehicle. So this is that affordable vehicle that's been rumored, but we've not yet seen released. I think I heard Farzad mention this, and it's a really interesting idea, but the whole premise of this one is that by having the Model 3 be a better car, priced slightly more expensive, leaves more room under that for the affordable vehicle to slot in quite nicely. Whereas if you have the hatchback that will come out, then you have the Model 3, the previous version, those two might be too close to each other in terms of what they offer, their features, their pricing. Whereas now we've bumped the Model 3 up to a more premium, luxurious offering. There is plenty of room for the affordable hatchback that hopefully we will see very soon. At the same time that this news broke, there was also other important Tesla news. I posted about this on X. I'm on there every single day, so definitely go and follow me on there if you do have an account. But the other news was that they have reduced the price of FSD. So this has been dropped from $15,000 to $12,000. And this drop in price is quite big news, because this is software as a service, which means the margins are incredibly high. So if they need to drop the price slightly in order to sell way more and make it more affordable for many more people, this is quite big news, because it's pretty much pure profit. We also heard the news that there were price cuts on the Model S and the Model X range, but you can now get these two vehicles in any paint color for no additional cost. Oh, and also we saw version 12 FSD being demonstrated last Friday. That was really big news, and the Cybertruck deliveries are about to start. It's honestly so much going on with Tesla right now. And then of course, after all this, what did we see? We saw the stock drop by quite a big amount. I just used that opportunity, as my Discord members will know, to buy more, to accumulate more shares, because I believe this company is intrinsically undervalued, and I want to accumulate as many shares as I possibly can, so that eventually when this company gets really, really big, not financial advice, just what I believe, you know, based on my own research, going to grow and the market cap is going to be huge, blah, blah, blah. The intrinsic value of the company goes up. Eventually, the stock price will reflect that. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that watches these videos. I really do appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in another one very shortly.